I realize some of you may have gathered the wrong idea from my first entry. Perhaps you believe me to merely record events, that I simply hand over what others ask for, that their downfall is simply due to their own folly. Well, in this narrative, I intend to thoroughly disabuse you of such a notion. I am not your friend. I do not fulfill the dreams of mortals out of the goodness of my heart. The fates that meet my clients are no accident. They are not the product of any mistake by the client, save, perhaps, their contacting me. That truly was a mistake. A fatal one. No. I make these accidents happen. I give mortals what they ask for, then I turn that which they ask for into the source of their doom. I enjoy the game of it, turning the fulfillment of their dreams into the thing that ruins their lives. It brings me great pleasure. I collect the memories of my clients' final moments, all to enjoy their suffering at my hand. Nothing is sweeter to me than their terror, their despair. Nothing is better. Not fine cloth, not hot food, nor strong drink. Nothing. I hope this cleared things up. Now I will relate the story of Jack Willowsby and how wishing to see things truly left him seeing more than he ever wanted. The diner called to me. I could sense the telltale pull to enter. My new client would be inside. Unusual. Most summon me to the dark corners of cities, cellars, alleyways, abandoned areas, and the like. Though it didn't bother me, so with a shrug, I entered. It was a small breakfast diner, which was fitting since it was early morning. Another oddity. It's usually night. My, Jack was an interesting fellow. I looked around the surprisingly busy room. I spotted my client rather quickly, the pulling in my gut confirming my guess, so I joined the suited blonde-haired man at his small table. He looked up at me as I sat down across from him, an eager smile on his face. Finally, I nodded to Jack. What is it you wish of me? As usual, I preferred to get straight to the point. He took a deep breath. Okay, I wish for a pair of glasses. I want to be able to see the truth. I tilted my head. What truth? I asked, curious. Anything, everything. If there is something there to see, something that is hidden, I want it to be revealed. When someone lies, I want to be able to tell. I want the truth. I thought it over for a moment, then nodded. Very well. I reached into my coat pocket and after focusing for a moment, I pulled out a pair of dark sunglasses. I held them out to a stunned Jack, the glass glittering darkly. How did you... he muttered. I ignored his confusion, laying the glasses on the table and getting to my feet. Well, young Jack, I said quietly, enjoy seeing the truth. And so I left, leaving a rather bemused Jack holding his new glasses. 1 week later, he took his own life. I was there, of course, watching from the shadows. After his final breath left his body, I collected his memories for later viewing. Let's have a look, shall we? I watched as the Dealmaker left Daryl's diner. I was a little shocked at how quickly the whole meeting had gone. I suppose he must have done this many times. I fiddled with the glasses for another minute before slipping them into a pocket and leaving the diner myself. I put on the glasses outside, eager to test them out. Nothing seemed to be different. I hailed a taxi to bring me home, and when I entered the car, the driver smiled at me. "Nice suit," he said. I recoiled slightly when he spoke. It seemed as if a black sludge had dripped from his mouth. He was lying, I'd realized with excitement. That the glasses were working. Pleased, I gave the man my address and relaxed as I was driven to my small apartment. As I made my way through the building, I watched in amazement as I saw the lies. People lie a lot. I had never realized before quite how much. Perhaps the glasses were showing me small lies. I had no idea how precise or literal the glasses were in determining that. So, with a shrug, I entered my apartment. I worked as a night guard in my actual apartment, interestingly enough. It was actually a little late for me to be up, so I got undressed and went to bed. I woke up and got ready for my night shift. After everything was ready, I got to do what I had been waiting for. I pulled out the glasses. Eagerly, I put them on. Everything seemed to be the same as before. Then I froze, spotting something out of the corner of my eye. I squinted, focusing. Nothing. I relaxed. For a moment, I thought I had seen a pair of eyes watching me. The night went poorly. I kept seeing glimpses of eyes glinting in the dark. I convinced myself it was nothing, it was just my nerves, jittery from my meeting with the Dealmaker. I was seeing things. Thus assured, I went to bed, expecting a good night's rest would help. The next shift was worse. I saw the glimpses more often, and I slept poorly that day. And the shift after that was even worse than the one before. I couldn't look around without seeing a pair of gleaming eyes following my every movement. Usually the eyes would disappear when I looked straight at them, but sometimes they looked back for a moment. The fourth night, the eyes wouldn't disappear when I looked. They would just stay there, unmoving. So I stopped looking at them. I slept even worse that day. My eyes were now permanently red from lack of sleep. All I could think about were those damn eyes following me. I saw them every time I closed my own eyes. The fifth night, as was the pattern, was worse. Every now and then, I would hear a scuttling sound and see a small shape dash behind me. I couldn't take it anymore. I would have simply taken off the glasses, but not knowing was somehow so much worse. I couldn't stand the idea of something moving without me knowing. So I left. I abandoned my contract, my job. I went to a hotel, hoping the creature wouldn't follow me. And it seemed to work. The sixth night was free of crawling shapes and glittering eyes. I nearly wept with relief, but I celebrated too early. The seventh night, everything got much, much worse. I saw the eyes. They were everywhere. I couldn't escape them. Nothing I did helped. As the night crept along, things worsened. I could see the shapes moving every time I turned my back. I felt the eyes burning into me. I wanted to scream, to tear my own eyes out. I was exhausted and terrified, and they were watching me. Always, always, always watching me. Don't look at me. Don't look. Stop looking. I screamed in the quiet of my own head. I ran to the kitchen. My inner screams were so loud I realized I was actually screaming, a desperate sound filled with terror. Long, throat-tearing screams. I could see them clearly now. The eyes. Those damn eyes. Finally, they were in front of me, not just hidden in the corner of my vision. I snarled. There was a creature standing in front of me, hidden in shadow, yet as always, I could see those gleaming eyes, glowing in the dark. And this time, I could see the teeth, gleaming in white. I felt a deeper terror than any I had felt before. I snatched a knife from the kitchen counter. I held it out warningly, desperately. Terrified tears ran their way down my cheeks. I knew my end had come. This knife wouldn't help me. I felt from the depths of my soul that I did not want this creature to get a hold of me. There was only one option left. I drove the knife deep into my heart. I collapsed. Breathing was difficult. I looked towards where the monster had stood. I watched as it turned and faded away. And despite it all, I felt relieved. Relieved that that thing would not be able to touch me. As I began to choke on my own blood, I thought I saw the Dealmaker, standing in a shadow. I felt hatred bubble in me at the sight of him. I cursed him in my final moments as I drowned in my own blood. He was laughing. Poor Jack. His memories were delicious. I am the Dealmaker. I make deals with people. And if you are very unlucky, I might make a deal with you too.